What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mod I've been wanting to do for a little while now for my RX-7. It's a pretty simple mod. I'm going to actually build a Hot Wheels key for my RX-7. I've always been wanting, ever since Mattel said they were going to be releasing an FC3S Hot Wheels car, I've been wanting to build one for it. It's pretty cheap and easy thing to do, so here's a little instructions on how to do it. Alright, so a couple things you're going to need to build a Hot Wheels key is, of course, you're going to have to pick the Hot Wheels car that you want to use, which, of course, like I said, this is going to go for my RX-7, so I actually found an FC3S RX-7 Hot Wheels car. You're going to want a permanent marker, some JB Weld. I usually buy this stuff that pre-mixes in the tube, so I don't have to worry about mixing it, and it's easier to apply in the rivets on the car. Also, probably might need a Dremel. Reason you're going to need a Dremel is you're actually going to have to buy a piece of metal, like a piece of flat metal. Luckily, I found a bracket laying around the house that I didn't need. It had a hole already drilled in it. The reason you're going to need this is because you're going to need somewhere to put the key ring into, to say put it on your keychain. So it's a good thing to find. If you have some junk metal laying around like this, you can easily use it and save a few bucks. Also, you're going to need of course, you're going to need a drill, whether it be cordless or a corded drill. And of course, you're going to need some drill bits, and I am using 1/8 drill bits, some cheap ones from Hyper Tough, from pretty much Walmart, cheapest I can get. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get, like I said, open your car, and if you look at the bottom, there are actually 2 rivets in the bottom of the car. You're actually going to want to drill those 2 out until you can separate the plastic base from the metal of the car. Alright, once you got the rivets drilled out, usually what I do is I take and I actually pry on the exhaust, because the exhaust sticks out a little bit, and literally it will separate the plastic base from the metal body, and then the car will literally just fall apart like so. Alright, so the next trick is going to be actually grinding on the body. You actually have to grind the front and a little bit out of the bumper on the car so the key can actually stick through. So that's when your Dremel tool is going to come in effect. I usually use a cut-off, like a little simple cut-off wheel, to actually cut it and shape it up. Also, before you do that, you really want to go and have a second key made. Before you even start this, you really want to do that. You actually want to go have a second key made, just in case anything happens. You don't want to have to try to take a key down to somewhere that's broke. These are, I found out, these are pretty hard keys to come by nowadays. I had to go to a mom and pop store to actually find them. Walmart or any place like that makes keys have none of these keys in stock. So yeah, I had to go to a mom and pop. Luckily they had probably 4 or 5 of them in stock. If not, you'd have to probably go on eBay, which they're pretty cheap on eBay. I think I found like 4 of these keys on eBay shipped to the door for like $7. So it's not that big of a deal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take one of these keys off the key ring, and we're going to go to the car and actually use the permanent marker to mark where the key protrudes out, where I can put the car on. Alright, so I stuck the key in the ignition and marked it with a permanent marker. If you actually look, if my camera will focus, well, it won't focus very well, but the way the key is designed right here on this edge right here, you can actually cut along it. It's the right width to sit between the wheels perfectly, almost dead perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use my Dremel bit with a cutoff wheel and go ahead and cut this key up. Alright, here's the key cut off. And also what I did was, if you're new to Hot Wheels, there's actually, it's hard to see and focus in on, but there's actually these little tabs that hold the axle in. It will actually cause the key to sit crooked. I actually ground those off because I'll be using, and the axle will pop out, of course, once you grind those little tabs off. But once you do that and you actually get the key stuck in there, the key will actually act as the axle hold down, so it's not going to pop out. So, alright, let's talk about what I worked on the body. As you can see, I kind of chopped the intercooler portion of the bumper out. So right in between the mufflers on the body, I cut the rear portion of the bumper out. Also, it may be kind of hard to see, but there's some bracketry right here you have to shave out to get what will be your king ring holder to go in place. And literally all I did, like I said, I found a piece of a flat bracket that was in a junk pile, and as you see, it already had a hole drilled in it, and all I did was drill the other hole out to make it fit. So now we are to the point where I can actually start putting everything back together. Alright, so now all you got to do is put the car back together and epoxy the, I epoxy the key itself around the factory style rivet. Also for my keyring holder, I did the same thing, and then I stuck those on, and then of course I stuck the base back on with the wheels. One thing I didn't talk about was I took a piece of tape and wrapped a piece of tape around it for the time being to make sure it gets a good so it doesn't try to separate or anything, or if I bump it off the table or anything, it stays stuck together. So right now we're just letting the epoxy dry, and as soon as it dries, we're going to test and make sure that the ignition operates properly. Alright guys, there you go. Hot Wheels FC3S Key, pretty much. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. This is not a key, like I said, I would use on a daily basis to start a car. It has a plastic base on it. It will break. This is just a joke and a gimmick. Pretty little cool little trick. Hot Wheels do make, you know, high-end Hot Wheels cars. This is, of course, your typical $94 whatever your store may be charging for Hot Wheels. And then you have your higher-end stuff like that are $5, $6. They have metal base, metal body. They have the real riders, which is rubber wheels. They're much more expensive. Of course, Hot Wheels doesn't build an FC3S yet of those cars, but probably as soon as they do, or if they ever do, I will probably tear this car back apart and create a metal base, metal body Hot Wheels car, which will probably be legit usable key that I could use every day and, you know, put in my pocket and not have to worry about the plastic base breaking. But that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you next time.